Hi guys, it's Steve from Emporium Customs. We've got Lucian's Toyota Rav4 in. As you can see, a lot of delamination on the leather, peeling away in chunks there. And he's having this in for a retrim, so we're going to show you a quick video taking the wheel off and putting it back on our skin. First thing we've got to do then is disconnect the negative on the battery and find this under the bonnet on this model. So we're going to slack that off. You don't want the nut to come all the way off, just enough to get this off. Pull that off, pop it to one side. So what I normally do, in case it flicks back and arcs, just get a little cloth around the negative terminal, just to protect that. I'll try and tuck that down somewhere, you can see down in there. Pop that in out the way, protect the negative, and it's good to go. The next bit's going to be to remove the airbag. It's going to switch around. So you can see there's two holes, that one there and that one there. So it's right underneath and on the side, and it's on the passenger side. This is reversed, so in reality it's underneath and on the passenger side. So we need a tool just to pop that out, which I'll show you. And it should pop the airbag forward. Okay, and there is actually a third release behind this indicate stalk thing. So there's a little slot there you just use to get your small blade screwdriver in. Remove this little cowling, and then up in there, if we can see it, try and zoom in. Okay, get it to focus, which I can't. It is the third little release slot, so I'll try and get the screwdriver up in there to show you where it is. So it's there. You've got to move that to the side, and that will release the third catch for the airbag cover. Pull the airbag out towards you, and you see there's main connectors in here. If you can zoom in, quite a tangle of wires, but just pop them out the way, and you see there's a main one in the center, black one there, and there's a little flip switch which you just push down and pull towards. You see on there, just click that down like that. The airbag one seems to be sort of hardwired in. You might be able to take it out, but what we're going to do is remove the airbag one from the back of the airbag itself. So very carefully with a small flat blade, prise that up as far as it will go. Don't force it because this is ever so delicate, and then just gently pinch it up and out, and that will remove. And then this here is just a little grounding earthen wire, which is just a spade connector, which will just pull off eventually. You might need to, rather than risk pulling the wire off, consider leaving it off with a little flat blade, just bit by bit, and then that will come out. And then your last one is in here. Again, get some light in there, little pull down, and that's all disconnected. Okay, so I'm just going to show you where, when you're detaching the airbag, when you're coming in through the holes in the bottom and in the sides, you're coming in through there, and then if you look inside the wheel, what you're aiming for is feeling, if you can see the screwdriver there, so you're feeling where this metal bit is, and then you want to pop it across until you feel some resistance off this bar, and that's what you want to be pushing up and down. The same for when you come in from the sides. You come in from the sides, and then you're going to be poking around. There's quite a lot going on in here, but fundamentally you're trying to find the resistance of this bar here, and then coming in from that side, when you remove the cowling you can actually see it, so you can peer up and you can see the bar and just push it to one side. You don't need to feel for anything. So the next thing we're going to do is disconnect these sections of wires and stuff in here. So that's just going to be a push in and a pull down, which we'll get out just like that. This can stay connected, and then we're going to measure and see how big this bolt is, this nut is, sorry, and we'll get that cracked off and the wheel removed. Okay, so it's a 19mm for this bolt in the middle here. There's also a wire that we've disconnected from that bit on there, which is this one, before we start taking it off. We may find when we start to try and pull it away there's more wires attached that we didn't notice. That's fine, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So this center's a 19mm. Just pop that. They don't always come off that easily. Sometimes you have to get the breaker bar and hang off them. Just be careful of your interior when you're doing that. Roll that off. And the bolt's removed. So we're going to pull this slowly towards us because we don't know whether we've managed to get everything off or not. There may still be things wiring wise that's still attached. What we've done as well is just put some Sharpie marker on to the centre bolt coming off onto the wheel, so we can see when we put it back on where to put it. A lot of wheels have one already put in from the factory, so there's no need to do it, but I can't see one on this, so just in case, that's what we're going to do. Okay, so you got to pull this out. Made it look dead easy. It's not. We've just had to proper rag a hold of this, proper lock it from the top and bottom to remove it. All of these individual teeth in there, I don't know if you can see them, that connect up on the teeth on there, and then as you can see our little black lines to line it up with when we pop it back on. So the next bit we've got to do is remove all of these internals, ready for the retrim. Next we've got to get all the little internal bits out. So I always have a little pot, as I've said before, to get your small bits into. You don't want to be losing these. Double washer on that. Okay. So I've never done a Toyota wheel before, so I've no idea how these come apart. So it's going to be pretty much blagging it. So that's it released from the main frame, but then the frame pops out down here. So I'm wondering if there's further screws attaching a bit further down. And I can see it's got a bit of movement in it, but it's not coming out just yet. So I'm wondering if this back panel comes off as well, which it looks like it does. But we've got these paddle shifters in there, they're going to have to come off. This little indicator stalk, but that detaches from the frame there, so let's see if we can get that off next. We'll do a pull through. Got to do it so I'm not blocking it, but equally not to lose these washers. They've all got 2 washers on. Okay, that's the cruise control. Nice. That's that off the frame. That's going to have to come off the back. What else have we got? We don't want to break anything, do we? Okay, promising. So that's clips in, if you can see that, clips in there. See if we can encourage the rest out. Got to be careful of the controls for these switches, I'm not sure. This is the wire that goes to them, but I don't know if there's anything underneath that we need to be careful of. Seems to be levering up. Let's give it a little tease with the trim tool. Something holding that in. Let's have a little explore. Okay, so it was just a case of leaving it out. We've got little pegs in there. If you you can see. Camera's up above my head height, so I've got to try and stand up to see what's in here. Okay. So if you can see that like that. And then we'll lever this one out. Okay. And we're still connected down here. So we'll get that out from the back. Looking good. So we've got these jobbies there with clips that go in on the plastic, and then these pins as well. So they look like they go into there or there, or possibly into there, and then they definitely go in these main bits. Or they might be for the paddle shifters actually underneath. So you can see there, that's into that, and that's into the inner one by the looks of things, and I think that's connecting to the paddle shifter underneath. So it looks like we've got 2 more retaining screws which are going to be probably holding the paddle shifter body on, and then between the paddle shifter and the frame we got this as well. So let's pop this to one side, keep it safe, and we'll try and get these off. If you're going to do stuff like this where you're not sure, I've not done it before, even if you never show anyone the video, it's good to take photos and videos of what you're doing as you're doing it, so you know where all the screws and everything go back to until you get used to doing it, which is what I've done with all the wheels and stuff that we've ever done, until I know what I'm doing. Arguably I still don't know what I'm doing, but that's debatable. Okay, so it looks like these are holding the plastic in. Yeah. Nice logical design. So that's off the back, and then it hooks in. Ah, awesome. So there's your paddle shifter assembly. A little bit flimsy, I think. I wonder if that could sit in a bit more secure than that. But simple design and it works, so yeah. And now we're left with the frame. So keep whacking this. Sometimes what I'll do, if I can, is I'll put screws back in the holes that they came from, just so I don't lose them and I know where they're from. But we've filmed this, so that's okay. Looks like there might have been extra bits and bobs that could go on this wheel, possibly heating, other things, because it's got extra screw holes, possibly to mount things into. And yeah, all done. So next thing we'll see is when this is retrimmed. So the wheel that is now complete and retrimmed, we'll get it reassembled and put back on the car. Top tip when you're reattaching the indicator stalk, stick the wire on, connect it first, and then run it in from the back side before you reconnect it. Don't screw it in and then find you've got to put the wire back in and you have to take it back out again, like I've just done. And here is the fitted end result. Looks a million times better. Absolutely fantastic. Look at that. Hopefully you'll be very pleased with that. Brand new leather on there, perforated sides, smooth top and bottom. Looks fantastic.